Hey guys, it's Paul again. So I know it's been a while, but I've been actually really wanting to do this particular video, and it happens to be that tomorrow I'm flying off to Phoenix, Arizona to go to a graduation of a very special person. No, it's not my girlfriend. It's actually my girlfriend's little sister. So going to her graduation, and I'm flying. So and this happens to be the 22nd of May 2013, and on the 13th of this month the TSA is now allowing blades non-locking under 2 3/6 inches, under half an inch wide, blah 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 blah, on planes again. Now, I have flown since I've started this channel several times, and actually every time that I've flown I expected the TSA to follow through on that promise, and they haven't until now. So I've been holding up to do this review, and not even really a review, it's more of a pocket dump really. As you can see, there's lots of stuff that doesn't really need reviewing, but I figured, you know, since I'm actually able to carry this, it's worth my while to show you an EDC video. So this is my flight carry. Start with writing utensils. This happens to be a Pilot V-Ball RT fine tip. And the reason I like it is, even though it's very lightweight, so I can keep it in my pocket, it doesn't gum up as badly as some others do. I'm thinking the Zebra RF Z1, I think it was. It's a full stainless steel body. Well, it had a very fine tip, and it was a full stainless steel pen. It was heavy, and then the tip would gunk up with all my pocket lint, and this, for whatever reason, doesn't. So I like having this in my pocket instead of something like that. I have had Fisher Space Pens before, and I really like Fisher's product and a lot of the products that use Fisher Space Pen capsules, but this writes a little better. It has a finer tip, and I have very sloppy handwriting, so as I'm writing, having a very fine tip helps my edges seem crisper, which makes it a little bit easier to read, but not much. Then I have a Sharpie. I actually have a couple Sharpies in my backpack. I might show you a backpack video, but Sharpies might always come in handy in some way or form, and if nothing else, why not have it? It weighs nothing. And then I got my cell phone, which, you know, is an old phone. That's actually not bad. It's an old Motorola slider, but nothing really special about it. I'm not really into phone reviews. I don't have enough money for it. Plain leather wallet. Has all my ID and stuff, so I'm not going to open it up. I actually opened it up a couple times, always forgetting that I wasn't going to, just because I have my ID set a certain way. So yeah, plain leather wallet. I actually got this in Panama when I was down there a couple of years ago, and it's worked out really well. Actually, it's the longest lived wallet that I have as far as something I carry consistently. I have some old nylon wallets that I've had since I was probably 10 or 11. But this one's the most comfortable to carry. I carry it in the front pocket, my front right hip pocket, or the sidekick. The right sidekick, as old newsboys would call it. But so there's that. And then a monogrammed, is this one? Yeah, monogrammed handkerchief that my girlfriend got me for one of our anniversaries, which was very sweet. And actually, this actually deserves a review on its own. This is an original buff in Baxter Gray, and what it is multifunctional headwear. It spreads out like this. I'm not sure the dimensions, but it's fairly short. I'd say probably 18 inches long, maybe 20. And it's made of a single, instead of having a seam on it, it's a seamless tube of polyester. And while it does soak up odor, which is one of the reasons I prefer the wool, it is very light and easy to carry in your pocket, and I actually carry that in my back pocket. I carry my handkerchief and this in one in each in my back pocket. So this rides in my right back pocket, and this rides in my left back pocket, because I actually have a problem with sitting on my wallet. It tweaks my spine in such a way that I get back spasms. So yeah, buff. I'll probably do a review on that, especially when I get a wool one, because the wool one's my favorite, but that's very good, especially for where I'm going, where it's really hot, and I can soak that in water. And it's always nice to have a scarf. That's me, not you. And then we have the Streamlight Micro Stream, which is actually a fairly new light to me. I've been EDCing it for probably 2 weeks now. 3 weeks actually, probably. It takes a single AAA battery. Happen to have Energizer riding there. I haven't had time or money to upgrade either the lithiums or inner loops. But puts out, according to Streamlight, 28 lumens if my memory serves correct. This isn't really a review on any particular item. This is just showing something, things that I carry on the plane. It's very small. It's not the smallest single cell AAA that I've had, but I like that it has a push button. I like the double loop over clip, which actually locks into your pocket really well. There's a little bump right here that as you can see, that little bump actually catches on my pocket, and I have to really push it down in there. It really locks in. I have yet to lose this, and I've taken it some pretty crazy places. Swam with it in the Gulf of Mexico, and I was more worried about my Griptilian falling out of my pocket than this. So Streamlight MicroStream, really good single cell. Especially I got it for like, well, I'm not gonna tell you what I got it for, but I think street price is like $20. You can find them on sale for like 18. So, really good deal on that. I have actually, I'm practicing my knot tying, so I have two pieces of about 2 feet, yeah, about 2 foot long paracord, probably 18 inches worth of paracord, just 2 hanks of it, so I can practice joining and doing full loops and my braiding and chainsins and whatnot. I just have been practicing my knots, so I've actually been carrying a lot of these particular strands lately. Hopefully they don't get confiscated. I don't think they will, but if you want to practice knots, I have an hour worth of flight, might as well have something to do. I mean, I read a lot, but. And then we get to this, which has another little hank of paracord on it. But this is the Leatherman Squirt PS4. And I actually bought this specifically with the idea that this would be something I could carry on a plane. Now, I have been EDCing it since I got it back in late April, so probably 3 weeks, and I don't really have enough use on it to do a full review that I'd be happy with. There'd be a lot of conjecture, and it looks like, or I think that this would do well, so I'm not going to do a review quite yet. I do know that that's blade. One thing I don't like about it is that, if you can tell, that has a bevel on it, the secondary bevel, and that doesn't. That's because this is chisel ground. This is full chisel ground. The primary and secondary bevels are on this side, and I actually ended up putting a very small micro bevel on this side just to get rid of the burr, because I find chisel ground knives very hard to sharpen. I actually find chisel ground knives that have a secondary bevel on the flat side even harder to sharpen and get a usable edge out of. So the micro bezel just helps me keep that burr down, and it has a workable edge. It's not up to my normal standards, but 420 HC steel, how Leatherman puts it together, actually is a very decent pocket blade steel, especially with this size of blade. I do know that these pliers are not as weak as you might think. They're not incredibly strong, but I mean, I can get 4 fingers barely on that pinky on the pliers, and they are spring loaded, which is nice. And I pulled some small stuff out with this, and actually opened up an oxygen tank with this. So, and actually, those wire cutters are really good for cutting zip ties. So there's that. And it has a couple other tools that I've used. The scissors don't come remarkably sharp. The file works fairly well on fingernails if you use the fine side. This happens to be the fine side. That's the rough side. So, yeah, it's a really good EDC tool, and I've actually been carrying this in my jeans coin pocket. I've been wearing jeans more so than uniform pants lately. I got out of, I've passed my EMT basic school, now I'm just waiting to take the licensing exams, and I was actually surprised how comfortable jeans were after wearing nothing but uniform pants for 4 months. So yeah, I've been carrying this in my jeans coin pocket, or the watch pocket, whatever you want to call it, and it rides very well in that. Even with the lanyard actually sticks out about that much, and it helps me pull it out so I don't have to go digging in there. It doesn't include access to any other pockets. It's a really nice tool. So, and then let me get to a little philosophy really quickly before I run out of time as far as what I carry. If I did a typical pocket dump, there'd be a few more items. but not a whole lot. You might see the same items in different formats. Like I might be carrying a larger flashlight. I might carry a larger multi-tool. I almost always carry this multi-tool. Until I get a juice, this will be my EDC multi-tool, but I might be carrying a wave. I might be carrying a 2-cell Quark Pro and the CR123 squared old style Quark Pro by 4.7s. I actually have that in my backpack as a backup light, but I might be carrying it in my pocket. I might be carrying 2 or 3 pens, or a heavier duty pen than this. I might be carrying one of the king size Sharpies. Probably not, actually. This is usually the Sharpie that I carry. And then these are always a constant, so I'll leave these out of the discussion. But even though the necessity for a very small knife was, put in place by the TSA, everything else I carry is very small, very lightweight, and very pocketable. And the reason is because I'm going to be spending a lot of time putting it in and out of my pockets. I'm going to be spending a lot of time sitting on it, or just having it in my pockets in general while sitting down for extended periods of time. And I want something that's lightweight, that is compact, and that doesn't really interfere with the way I naturally sit. Again, I usually carry this in my front pocket. They also tell you that that's the hardest place to steal it from, is your sidekick. That's actually how the word sidekick came about. I might do a short video on that, but your front hip pocket's one of the hardest places to steal from. It also allows you to sit naturally. You don't have to lean up or to the side to accommodate a thick wallet. These are very thin and compressible, and they're about the same thickness, and I carry them on each side to balance them out. So I put a lot of thought into what I put into my pockets, the size, the weight, and the fact that I do have to take everything out of my pockets and put it back in twice during this trip within a couple days. So I might do an EDC video as far as I will do an EDC video as far as my everyday carry, my true everyday carry, and then some philosophy on why I choose what I choose. But these are some things that you need to think about as far as flying is. I mean, especially now that you can have small blades. Leatherman already made a TSA compliant multi-tool with no blade. You can choose say a traditional blade like a case peanut, pair it with a Leatherman style CS or whatever their TSA compliant was, and then have a small flashlight, and you already have 3 of the major things that people say you should have: a knife, a multi-tool, and a flashlight. Here I do have a knife, a multi-tool, and a flashlight. The knife just happens to be attached to the multi-tool, and I actually like it. It's a bit more elegant. I don't have to carry more than 2 things. So just a little thought, and again, kind of a celebratory video about the fact that I can carry incredibly small, very useful, but really non-dangerous blades on a plane. So thumbs up. Oh, paracord and a watch, but we'll do those later. Thanks.